Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Live a Live. When we last left off, we finished the Kung Fu chapter. Today, we are going to start the Ninja chapter. Before I can go on though, I would like to point out that you can actually redo any of the chapters at any time you want. It starts it over, like a fresh new game. This is useful in case you didn't get a rare drop or something, or you forgot to kill a bonus boss, or you just want to play through it again. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to do the Ninja chapter here. In the Bakumatsu era of feudal Japan, the shinobi remain in the shadows even amidst the upheaval of societal change. To one such man, secret orders are given. Sneak past countless guards and traps to rescue the hostage. Can he kill 100 men? The answer to that is no. I'm not killing 100 men. That is one of the ways you can approach this chapter. That's the neat thing about this particular chapter. There are many different ways to approach it. Basically, you could go in and murder everybody. There are 100 NPCs that count. There's 100 living human NPCs. And you can kill them all. You can go through without killing anybody. Or you can do some combination of killing and sparing, which is what I'm going to be doing. Now, if you go for a pacifist playthrough of this scenario, at the end you are rewarded with a sword, but then the sword has pretty high attack power. However, you can get a sword with identical attack power by beating one of the bonus bosses in this scenario. So there's not really a mechanical advantage to doing a pacifist run. In fact, in the last chapter, this actually kind of sort of puts you at a slight disadvantage because you'll be at a lower experience level than if you had killed and gained levels during this. There is a spot to grind in this chapter, so that's not as big a deal as you might think. So you can defeat the bonus bosses even if you're going pacifistic in your approach here, but you have to skip one of the party members to go 100% pacifism, and I would rather have that person in my party to help fight the bonus bosses than I would to, you know, get a 100% pacifist clear. Also, I tend to get very frustrated with the NPCs in this chapter, and like after 5 or 6 times running into the same NPC and instigating the same fight and running away, sometimes I just get irritated and kill the NPC. I will try to avoid that, but I'm going to do my best to adhere as much as I can to a pacifist route, so that if you want to do it, you can. I will point out any deviations from that route and what you can do to continue on. The route I'm going to be doing that I've sort of decided on is basically one to show off as much of the chapter as possible, and that's going to be my goal. So this is our character for this scenario, Oboro. Specifically Oboromaru. Oboro is a ninja, of course. Most of his attacks rely on his int stat, but the ones that don't rely on his speed stat. For example, his base attack, Shinobi Slash, his Cross Slash ability, which he starts with. Those are speed, I do believe. Let me get my actual list up here, and I can tell you exactly. So, yeah, he's got no attacks that use his power or vitality at all. Everything he has uses his either his IQ or his speed. So that is something you want to keep in mind when you are equipping him, when the game opens up a little more. You don't really have a whole lot of choice when it comes to equipment in this particular scenario. There are some... Oboro has more equipment than a lot of the chapters, but most of them are just pure defensive upgrades. They don't have like a lot of diversity in stats. So... this chapter, like pretty much all of them, has really good music. So we're going to be enjoying this. One special thing about this chapter is depending on whether or not you kill anybody. So since I'm going to be killing people, one of the things you might do if you want to play through the game is go through in a pacifist manner. It is a very... rewarding experience. It's like going through a Metal Gear game without killing anybody. It's really fun. That said, like I said, I'm going for a route to show off as much as I can. The few bits of dialogue that Oboro has actually changes depending on whether or not you've killed anybody. So that's actually a neat little touch. Mechanically, nothing changes. Just like I said, it's just a couple of bits of dialogue. So we got the ninja on a kite thing. So let's start the Bakumatsu chapter, Secret Orders. I think I mentioned before, this is based on like a period, like the whole period drama thing that Japan does. Another neat thing about this chapter is it actually has multiple endings. There are 3 endings to this chapter. You get one of the endings by doing this. So we're just going to go ahead and save. This is going to be one of the few chapters that I am actually going to save in. And you actually cannot run away from these guys. That's fine. One of the interesting things about this chapter is pretty much all of the NPCs have unique names. Even though these two guys are functionally identical, they have like individual names because they're individual people. That's not the case for every single NPC, but like these guards and stuff, that is. So you notice there that Oboro keeps a running count of the number of people you killed. There are 100 NPCs that count toward that goal, and you get no rewards that I'm aware of for killing 100 people. Although I did read that I've only seen the dialogue changes for going pacifist and just killing some people. I have not actually seen... I haven't actually gone through and killed all 100 people in this chapter because there's no rewards for it. But I did read that that does also change the dialogue that Oboro gets later as well. So anyway, we're going to abandon the mission. So you could abandon the mission, but if you abandon the mission, you become an outcast. And you get into this fight here. Now, at this levels, this fight is not winnable. Like, yeah, they do several hundred points of damage. And you get a game over. And one of the things that I haven't shown off is you actually get a little game over sequence every time you get a game over there. So that's neat. So I will admit that I'm a big dummy, and it took me forever to realize how to get past these two guys without actually killing them. Most of the battles in this chapter you can just run away from. Basically, if an enemy is walking around on the screen, you can avoid them. I mean, you can run from the battle. If they ask for a password and you get it wrong, you cannot run from that battle. So if you're going for a pacifist route, it's very important you keep up with the password. And this is how I do it. I have a token, it doesn't matter. I'm using a bottle cap. And once I designate one side as one password, there's two passwords. River and Origin. So right now the password is River. Then a bell will ring and it'll be Origin. And what I do is I flip the token back and forth so I can look down at a glance to go, okay, the password is currently River. And another thing that helps me keep up with it is I say it out loud. So I'll say, okay, the password is now Origin when the bell rings. So, just to give you an idea. Also, Oboro runs at double speed. He walks normal speed, but he runs faster than every other main character. So we got some chainmail. Let's equip that. We are currently in the first building. There are 3 buildings in this castle, I guess. So we want to just run away from him. And one thing to note is if you hold the Y button, you pull that cloak up. If you get into a battle, what you can do is you can... So, River. Before the battle is over, if you hold the Y button, he will immediately pull it up and you won't get into another battle. So that's nice. Okay, so there's a couple of important rooms in here. Specifically this one right here. Hold on. Like I said, just hold the Y button and you'll pull it up and you'll be fine. So I want to point out this NPC right here. If you kill this NPC, you miss out on an item. So you don't want to do that. If you are going for 100 kills, do not kill any women until you get to the very end of the chapter. Like literally the 11th hour. Like if you were to go up one more screen. Because you get a reward for not killing any women. And then you can just go back later and kill the women. Here's the problem I have. Okay, so it's Origin. Flip my token. Here's a problem I have with doing the 100 kills. There's a lot of flags and a lot of triggers that are really hard to know. You have to basically have a walkthrough to do the 100 kills. For example, that room where I grabbed those 2 chests with those with these Castellas, by the way. Tenmusu are the meaty bones. There is an ambulance driving by. Hopefully somebody's okay. These are the meaty bones, and the Castellas are the giant meaty bones. Just to give you an idea of what they do. But if you... These rats. So that's another Castella. These 2 NPCs right there, if you kill that NPC I pointed out earlier, they are not there and the chests down there are empty. And if you look at this peephole right here, those two NPCs in the room with the two chests, they despawn. But these peepholes, you can spy on enemies, and they'll be like, they'll give you hints a lot of times. So that hint tells us that the storehouse key is actually in the storehouse. However, will we get it? Well, I know how to get it. So this is the second Watanabe scene that we're going to watch. You might remember me talking about Watanabe. The Watanabe thing is like a running joke where you have a boy and his dad dies, and then the boy starts crying and runs off with his father. Why that's a running joke, I don't know. We've already missed one of the Watanabe scenes, particularly because there's two Watanabe scenes in this that are you have to go out of your way to get. The first one is in the Kung Fu chapter, and you have to pick Sammo as your inheritor, which I didn't do. Oh no! So, just a quick little... These chests are empty, but this one has a coin, or money. It's very important. This room, by the way, goes to... Just to give you an idea of where we are. And if you come in here first, there's a ninja that goes through this, and he'll ask you for the password. Oops. So we don't actually... I don't know why I'm running this way. So I like to, like, avoid him. And it's like, why make that check if I don't have to? This guy's annoying. Very annoying. He's a pain in my butt. You can go into this room right here from the side, but if you go in there, they force you into a battle that you cannot run from. Password is River again. So, what you want to do is you want to avoid that if you're going pacifist. There is a hole in the middle of the floor here. Avoid that. Otherwise, it'll drop you back down to the beginning. There's a secret passage down here. It takes you to the moat. You'll see, if you run down here, there's a door right there. That's where that secret passage spits you out at. So, one of the super bosses in this chapter is also down there, but you have to do something special to get him to spawn, so I will show that to you later. We get a Castella, storehouse key. Now, the question is, do I want to... Yes, I do. Okay. We're not going to go back just yet. We're going to do this. This is the first one of the trap rooms in the attic. There's several of these. This one's pretty simple. It's just it's just a conveyor belt puzzle. All you got to do is watch where the conveyor belts are going and make sure you don't get put in a hole. It's that simple. And I've done this so many times, I kind of sort of... Okay, so it's Origin again. I don't remember the time frame for the... I don't know, it's every couple of minutes that the bell rings. Maybe I should time it. So we're at 19 minutes. The next time the bell rings... Alright, so now we want to go this way. If you fall down that hole, you get put into a jail cell. Which I want to go down there, but not right this particular second. Grappling hook. It's very, very useful. The grappling hooks allow you to skip these puzzle rooms. See these posts right here? You can basically put a shortcut here. Although, this one actually doesn't let you skip the puzzle because the... well, it might. Actually, now that I think about it. Because that last lever I pulled might... Okay, so it does let you skip the puzzle. But anyway, this room is relatively easy, so there's no reason to skip these at all. That item I just picked up is a battle item. It's pretty good. I'm going to be using it on one of the bosses. Alright, so we are gonna try this. So these... $19. So it's like, what, every 2 minutes? So it's river again. Alright. So these chests are actually really not worth getting at this particular time. However, since I want to fall down in the hole anyway, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try and grab the chest now. And if I fall, it's not a big deal. There's a gnat flying around my head. It's bugging the hell out of me. Oh well. There is a secret chest hidden in that room right there. Now, this guy right here, if you actually have... There's a hidden basement key, and if you actually have it, I don't think he spawns. Because he's here to open the door if you don't have the basement key. So what you do is you hide, and he'll open it up. And he'll start running around like a madman, and you just run away. And you can run away from him. It's not a big deal. But now that he's there, I don't think he'll ever despawn. So we want to grab this, because it is a sword upgrade. Oh yeah. That is actually a really big damage boost. And there's a hidden door here. You can get this. If you want to kill this lady, you actually have to leave, come back in, and she's hiding in the chest. Okay, so now it's Origin. This is another room where I ends up killing a bunch of the guys because of just how many there are. I end up thinning them out to... Although I'm not going to do that right now. I'm actually going to run away from these guys. Like I said, I do like how they all have unique names, even if they are functionally identical. Alright, so we don't want anything in here.